Hi guys, and happy Witchy Friday. Crystal Moon coming to you today. Want to talk about something that I get asked a lot of, and it seems something like I discuss a lot about. So you're interested in this path, what do you do now? Or, help, I'm a witch, how do I get going in this, Those are a few of the approaches, I'm new to all this, what do I do? So I want to go over in this episode, and I am by all means not the every answer kind of person here, but I just want to point out some things, give you some tips on kind of the steps I took to get started. And, I've been doing this for almost 25 years now, so it doesn't come to you overnight, but I want to lessen the load and maybe the stress and hopefully get you going and find something that really truly empowers your magic. So stay tuned. Alright guys, I had to change rooms here. It's super, the light sucks in my upstairs room, so I figured I'd come down here, let my puppies outside, and talk to you a little bit about how you need to maybe look for your path. So you've decided that this is the direction you want to be, and you want to start meddling in witchcraft, and you're interested in all of this, but you don't know what path. And believe me, it's super difficult because there's 50 million different paths that you can follow. If you have someone that you can trust to ask a lot of these questions to, by all means, hopefully they are open and honest with you and will give you good answers, because there's just so many all the time of, what do I do about this? How do you know about this? Which way do you do that? What herb for this? What crystal for that? It's just, there's a lot of questions that pop up all the time, and it's really nice to have the person to reach out to. But if you don't, there's a few different things you can do to try and pick something. And I guess the biggest thing is, what drew you to this in the first place? What drew you to wanting to work with the craft? Was it a particular spell? Was it someone that you seen on YouTube? Maybe someone practices and they really spoke to you well about it. But the biggest thing is trying to find your path, because everybody's path is different. And while it's nice to have a mentor to reach out to ask questions, their path may be totally different than yours. So this is why I think I should address this a lot, because with COVID, we were all home. We all, all became solitary witches. And, there's covens are very, very closed most of the time. They don't openly advertise. So if your town or neighborhood has a coven, and you're really interested in wanting to learn that way, I would say reach out to like a metaphysical store or holistic shop. Find out if they have like one of those bulletin boards where they put up all the cards and stuff, and see. Ask them. They may even know. And then, that might give you a starting point too. I only say go to the coven. I think my personal opinion would be go to the coven when you know what you're practicing and you know that you would want to practice with people. I myself have not really wanted to practice with a coven, never have. However, part of me kind of regrets the chance that I had in high school. My uncle knew of one that practiced outside of town here that really wanted He wanted to introduce me to it to see if I would be interested, but I was so really new into it still that I had no idea if that's what I wanted to do. I think now I would probably say no, but it would still be nice to have that little bit of experience working with a coven and working with others, because the select few that I have worked with over the years, it's definitely been fun. It's been a learning experience, but at some point, everybody comes to that impasse and you may be back to practicing alone. So that is the one thing that you will always need to keep in mind, that regardless of who comes and goes, covens or, sister witches, friends in your life that practice, there's going to be plenty of times that you're practicing by yourself. So I am 100% a solitary witch. I always have been. Back to my rant, off my personal thing. I knew this was going to happen. So moon phases. Started with the moon phases. My mom was heavy into crystals growing up, so I knew a lot about crystals. That was the next thing that I tried to incorporate with the moon. And you see every full moon, new moon, everybody's coming out of the woodworks and talking about moon water and charging your crystals, and it's a thing. They're living conscious beings. These rocks grow naturally in the earth. They give off vibrations and energy, and they absorb negative energy. So they are an excellent tool if you want to start enhancing. I think crystals are an excellent tool to begin to work with, because there are, stones for grounding, stones for protection, stones for love, stones for enlightenment, getting to know all of your chakras. The biggest thing I would definitely say along this practice, one of the basic things that you should learn to do is to know yourself. You need to know what you're capable of. Your mindset, your intentions, those are everything when it comes to magic, any kind of magic. I know everybody wants to jump in and say, I want to be able to do this spell and that spell. And you can. I mean, definitely. Intent is everything. You can. But just, you need practice. Everybody does. I wouldn't have said, beginning this, that I would want to jump in and do, a full on circle calling, contacting spirits sort of ritual, full blown ritual, because I had no idea at that point how to do that sort of thing. So start basic. Make a mojo bag. And a mojo bag is as simple as a little satchel of crystals and herbs and oils, whatever you decide you want to put in that. Make one up for protection, for love, for, I'm a big empath. I pick up a lot of people's energy, so that's something that I'm always doing, is carrying stones for protection, psyche protection when I'm outside of the house, just because it's easy to get caught up in other people's energy when you're open to it. Let's see. Maybe you want to work with spirits. There's nothing wrong with that. Divination, witches are a huge thing. I love, love, love divination. That was something that I was always afraid of, because I had, and I know most people do, blah, blah, blah. But I did have a bad experience with a Ouija board at a young age. And in another active house. I have no idea what the history was of the house that I grew up in, but it was definitely an active house. And when a girlfriend of mine in middle school had brought over a Ouija board, and we, had no idea about closing it out, leaving things open, I think it really, truly did have a lot more of effect on us than would we have done it correctly the first time. So nothing wrong with divination. I have grown to love, even though I have not done the Ouija board thing yet. I love, I should say, tarot cards are my thing. That is my form of divination. I can use them in spell work. I can use them in spirit work. I can use them in anything. They're just open for that, which is why I probably have over 70 or 80 of these things now. I haven't counted in a while, so I'm probably pushing 80. But each one has a different attitude. There's tools of the craft. So you can use crystals. You can use tarot cards. You can use a pendulum. You can use rune stones. You can use elements if you want to work elemental magic, earth, air, fire, water, spirit. Definitely you can start with that. Go with what your birth sign is. If you're an air sign, then start working air magic, it's just, it's so hard to say, practice this one thing and then that's it. I just want to kind of, you know, condense it down. Pick something that you know you're going to stay interested in long enough to learn about it. Because a lot of this that I've noticed even with so many people is you start on something and you lose interest because it's either too complicated or it's just too much. Don't give up. Maybe you picked something too much. Maybe you picked something that still seems pretty overwhelming to you. That's okay. Start simple. Like I said, with me it was the moon phases. You can start with elemental magic. Just read up on the elements, you know, learn about the elements. Crystal books. I'm not going to do much referencing, but I will do a reference on the crystal books. Judy Hall's Crystal Bibles. You'll do good getting any of them. I don't know how many versions she has, 4 or 5 out. But they're really good reference books if you're wanting to learn crystals. My big thing, which I thought for years while I was learning more crystals, was to go to these holistic fairs, go through, pick out crystals that drew to me that I didn't even know. Go home afterwards, look them up, and then contemplate on why these crystals were drawn to me. And after about, I don't know, the first couple of years of doing this, it was a thing. These things were calling to me. There was a reason that I picked these stones and then came home and looked them up. It was really cool. It was crazy, but it was really cool. But you learn something about yourself. Your intuition plays a huge part in your magic. Don't shut out the little man in your head, that little voice in your head that is always telling you, you know, crazy, stupid thing. You know, this is not my number one job. I was working the other day. Something told me to, sorry, I'm checking on my puppies. Something told me I needed to pull over and check my emails because there was an important email before I went out of service. And sure enough, I figured, oh, I'll wait till the next town, till I'm back in service. It would have been a long ways away. There was something else I needed to do in that town while I was there, and I got that email. So don't shut off that subconscious voice, you know, little Jiminy Cricket, which you can probably hear my crickets. I'm sorry. I have reptiles. I have an awesome chameleon that, I feed crickets too, so that's why you're probably hearing the crickets in the background. But off topic again. See, I have such an ADD brain. I want to script things, but then I really hate when people script things because it doesn't seem very genuine. And one of the biggest things that I want to try to promote on my channel is being genuine and being honest and being like upfront with you guys. I don't script these. I'm not putting all these flashy filters and this fancy, this is my house. This is, you know, when I record, this is me. So whether you're disappointed that I don't live up to your expectations or not, I'm just trying to be as honest as I can. Good reference books. There are grimoires out there for, there's a Green Witch grimoire. I had referenced it to a friend a long time ago here, several years back, when they had began practicing, and it's a seriously overwhelming book. But as you hone in on your magic and your capabilities, you're gonna come to recognize this book and reference it so much more. But it's Green Witch Grimoire, Anna something. Like I said, I'll reference these if I can remember them. So start simple. Don't let anyone else tell you how to do your magic. Your magic is yours. You are the generator, you know, you draw that in, whatever energy it is that you want to work with. And when you sit down to actually work your magic, do it with 100% positivity that it is going to turn out exactly how you want it. Exactly. Walking into doing a spell with doubts will lead to doubts, will lead with backfires, loopholes, or even just a failed spell, and you're not going to get anything out of it just because your intent was not in it. So my big thing is intentions, 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 manifest, 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 you know. And you really, truly need to get to know yourself. You need to be honest with yourself. Don't candy coat shit when it comes to doing spell work or shadow work, or, you know, you need to be in the right state of mind. Don't do things for revenge. Don't do things out of spite. You know, do it because you truly feel, you know, if you need to push that bad something on someone, you need to know for sure in your mind that this person truly caused harm to you, truly did something so maliciously shitty, you know, that this is that push, you know. But most of all, protect yourself. And that's where magic begins. I think that's where a lot of people forget. And that's where you allow outside energies in, and you allow outside attacks in, because your protection and your foundation for your magic begins with you. And it is all about protecting and being comfortable with you and who you are and what your magic is. So hopefully maybe you learned something. Maybe I just ranted for almost 15 minutes here, but I think, you know, just keep it simple. Keep it simple. Start slow. Pick something that you really like, that you know you'll stay interested in, and just learn. Just learn. And then maybe pick something else and incorporate it, and pick something else and incorporate it. And, you know, after years of doing this, probably 25 years of doing this now, I dabble in a lot of different things. Just because, you know, when I feel like I'm comfortable doing to one limit, bring something else in. Practice that, incorporate it in, get comfortable with that. You know, bring something else in. It never ends. There's always more. There's always more to expand on, and there's so much more to learn every day, all the time. Just love your magic. Enjoy it. Okay, guys, I'm done ranting. I hope you have a fabulous weekend. Happy Friday, and I'm sorry I'm late, but I just wanted to make sure my dog hadn't broke my nose before I did a video, so getting head-butted by the dog was not fun. So I'm glad. I don't think I did. I kind of bruised, so I might have, but right where my glasses sit is right where it's just killing me. So wearing my glasses all day sucks. Okay, I'm done ranting. We'll see you guys in a couple weeks.